We just make up our own song as we start the show.
Every time.
And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze, news, and reviews. And joining us tonight is a special guest, a longtime friend of the show and advocate, if I may say so.
Mr. Drew.
It's Drew.
I like calling him Mr. Drew. Isn't that MTV show? Was it Mr. Drew?
It's Mr. Bill.
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew.
I almost said Dr. Phil. And then I was like, oh, yeah, so we call him Dr.
We went
Drew.
to Mr. Bill, to Dr. Phil, to Dr. Drew, to Mr. Drew.
He's a doctor of whiskey.
Yeah.
He's a doctor of all things alcohol. So,
Oh,
I would agree with that.
See, all right. So he's joining us for the show tonight.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You may hear some random answer from him, and we may be asking for his opinion on some things tonight.
Which is important because tonight is an opinion show. We've got lots to talk about. We need to catch you up on news. There's all sorts of stuff that's been being released. You've been seeing all this stuff probably come across your feeds. And you're like, oh my God, where do I start? What's real? What's fake? What's AI generated? Well, we're here to give you
The answers.
That too.
So as BJ mentioned, we are not really reviewing anything tonight. However,
We got some stuff on
we
the
might
table.
get to something. I know some of you see, well, you put Penelope toasted marshmallow toast in the title, and you're not going to talk about it. And I'm like, well, hold on there,
This one?
basement dweller. We may get to a quick review of that.
Listen,
Do you want to knock that out first and then get to whiskey news, or do you want
I'll
really...
probably pour myself something to enjoy while we talk through. We've got a lot to talk through tonight. So, we're going to start local. I want to start local because I want to talk to you guys about something that's going on right here in our backyards. Some would call this a great opportunity. Some others might call this a great grift. And then I think there's a spattering few that are going to find this existing somewhere in the cracks in between. And so we're just going to jump into it. So here at one of our fine casino institutions at the Aria at City Center, there's a place
Aria
called
Casino and Hotel for those that are not.
That is correct. What a beautiful pour. Where's mine?
I didn't really want to pour it into that shameful Dixie cup that you have there.
Okay, pour it into this shameful plastic cup.
Pour it into it.
So he hands me a red Solo and then hands me this instead.
Pour it into two shameful. You were shameful for not bringing over enough Glencairns.
They're right up there, literally 10 feet away from us.
You want me to get it?
It's too far. No, we're starting the show. It's too far. We're beyond this. We have started. We're not leaving. Okay, Cathedral, I think is how it's called, because it's got a French spelling, Cathedral. But Cathedral Mediterranean Restaurant is offering an experience for us whiskey lovers here in Las Vegas.
Oh, what are they doing?
Special thing.
So this is Aria at the Aria Hotel and
This is
Casino.
Aria Hotel and Casino right out there on Las Vegas Boulevard.
I think that Cathedral,
I think it's Cathedral, because it's got the apostrophe over the E.
Like, guys, when you market and come up with a name, come up with a better name. People don't want stupid names.
That's nice.
And it's not clothing brands and high-end luxury brands can get away with it, but not some restaurant. Anyway,
so this is a Mediterranean restaurant. Okay, it looks really nice.
Okay, what do we got?
They are offering a Van Winkle Bourbon Flight experience.
Whoa. Okay, go on.
Okay. So that sounds pretty enticing. What if I told you?
It does.
What if I told you in this experience, you could have the iconic 10-year.
Hold on. So you get 10-year Old Rip Van Winkle.
You could have the 12-year.
Lot B.
Doesn't say.
It's Lot B.
The 12-year.
Yes. Okay.
The 15-year.
Oh, now we're talking.
And the 23-year.
No way. They're also going to give you a 23. This is like
You're going to get
it's a whole vertical except the rye.
Okay, you're going to get a pour of the entire vertical. You're going to get a commemorative. Sure.
Okay, go on. Commemorative.
Horizontal across the level. You're going to get a commemorative box.
Oh, what does that mean? Why
So
would you get
it's
a
like-
box of what?
It's like a pine box. We would bring it up for you, but every time we do on this platform, it breaks.
Connection.
So we'll post a link to this in the bottom so that you can link to this. In fact, maybe you could pull a link into the chat here.
Sure, I'll do it in post.
So we've got a box that has their
I see that. Okay.
Yeah, it's got their logo on it. Okay.
It's literally, it looks like a shoebox made of wood.
It's like a wooden shoebox. It
And
has inside of it
tissue paper and like 4 Glencairns in it.
It has
and a
one.
booklet.
It comes with one
Oh,
Glencairn.
it's that small for just one Glencairn and one tiny
has
little book.
one Glencairn
It's super corny.
that has
like a Rubik's Cube cardboard box.
Pappy etched into that Glencairn. It just says Pappy in like some pretty crappy cursive. And then it comes with a special Cathedral Mediterranean restaurant Pappy Van Winkle Bourbon Flight like tasting book. All right. Here's the deets.
The price.
Oh, we didn't even get there.
Here's the deets. It's a half-ounce pour.
Come on, a half-ounce.
Not a
pour?
full ounce. It's a half ounce.
Is this the one that says the Van Winkle Bourbon Flight? Is this it?
That's the one. That's what I'm looking
I'll
at
put it in
here.
the chat for everybody,
So it's a half-ounce pour of each.
we can show that we're not.
And the total cost for 2 full ounces.
Here we go.
So you're getting 2 full ounces. You're getting a half. Do people understand how much a half ounce is? That's like a taste.
It's like
a splat.
Yeah,
I
but
could
on the strip,
capful.
it's double whatever the normal.
I could cry
Oh,
a
absolutely.
half an ounce, right?
I can cry. He's like, I cry daily. A half ounce.
I cry daily a half ounce.
Okay.
When the Ohio State football team loses.
That's it.
$500 before tax and tip.
$500.
$500 before
500.
tax and tip.
$500 US.
$500 US.
USD, not pesos.
So let's think about this for a second.
Yikes.
Let's think about this. So you're looking at 20%, another $100 in tip.
Are we coming through on audio? Talk?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. We're good. We're good.
And then you're gonna have to put tax on top of that.
So
8% tax?
700.
I was just gonna say you're looking at closer to like $650, right?
Yeah.
By the time all's said and done, by the time you're all really getting out of it,
Yikes.
right? Because that's $40 in tax, and then you got tip on top of it. If you're tipping 20%, if your bartender has done a really good job of really talking you up, and they better have
You got
for that much,
50
right?
to 100 on that.
50 to 100, right? They're really douche McGee's.
I mean,
Right.
I wouldn't.
You're looking at like 700 to 7.
Yeah.
You're at $600 to $700. Woof. Drew, would you pay this?
Would you pay that, Drew?
Should we
Who
blow up?
would pay this?
Should we blow up the local spot where you can do it for
No.
way cheaper?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. We do not speak the name.
Okay, because
We'll
there's a
not
place in
reveal-
town that's
And we
tenth
shall
of that price.
sequel.
We do
for the
not.
same things.
We do not speak the name.
We will never. Yeah.
So the prices you just named, I would never go there. I mean, I'd go there for dinner, but I'd never go there for bourbon.
Absolutely not.
Right, absolutely.
Even if I was there for dinner, I would see that and be like, never in a million years.
So, do you think that there's an appeal to people that go on vacation that would pay that?
I think there is an appeal for douche canoes who are here on vacation,
Okay.
who maybe win
As
some
I
money,
said. Okay.
and are like, oh yeah, let me really flex it out, check it out. I'm going to throw
Yeah.
some money around.
Yeah.
Just like they do at places like the 5-Star,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Who are willing to pay the $300 for a bottle of Blanton's. I see you, 5-Star. I'm going to give you shit every time. And yeah, I think that they prey. I think they prey on people who have a little bit of an ego
They do.
and who are going, oh, shit, it's the greatest stuff in the world. You've never had it. You only know it because there's hype around it. And you're like, check it out. I'm going to just throw down on it. I'm going to come to the expense it. Oh, I'm going to buy it for my vendor. I'm a vendor and I'm here with somebody. I'm going to buy it for you to seal the deal. I think really that's what's going on.
Let me pose this question. At what price would you buy it? Don't answer yet.
Mhm.
Would you buy it if it was priced at, say, $350?
Ooh, that's tempting.
Exactly. See?
But at half an ounce, not so much.
Then what if it was $3.99 and they were 1 ounce pours?
I think at $3.50 at 1 ounce pours, it's tempting.
$3.50. What would it take to get 2 ounce pours? You think? Like, let's really go just like.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, a 2 ounce is a standard pour. I don't want to hear anybody argue. "Oh, it's 1 ounce, it's 1 1/4. 2 ounces is a standard pour.
2 ounces.
Yeah,
I get that. Do I get the commemorative box and the
You still get
Glencairn?
the tchotchkes. Let's think about cost of tchotchkes. We know how much it costs. That
Nothing.
costs
It's
them
free.
maybe
It's free.
$10, maybe.
A 2 ounce pour of those 4 mythic. And I get the tchotchkes. $400.
I think that's too high.
You think that's too
I
high?
think that's too high.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
On the strip.
Okay, when you say on the strip, that doesn't help the case. It helps your case.
Look at how. Did you notice? Scroll back up.
What's that?
Scroll back up, and look at what you're being advertised. Boom!
Oh yeah, that's it's like a tinfoil hat. Everyone's listening. So I just wanted to pull up the MSRPs as a reference because I know that some people ask that. So you get the old Rip 10, that's $129
Okay.
MSRP.
Okay.
This is from Buffalo Trace. The 12-year is $149. So we're at, what are we there? $270.
Yeah, we're just under $300.
Just under $300. Then you get the 15, which is $199.
Okay.
So and then the 23, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get 20, and the 23 is $449.
Those are MSRPs though.
No, I get that, but how many? You're getting what? 21 shots per bottle. So,
Well, you can't get it at cost. But I know what you're saying. Drew, what's secondary? Do you know what secondary is running on those bottles?
It's a lot for
16 shots. Apologies. Sorry, 16 shots.
What was the last one? The 23-year? That's a ton.
Yeah, the 23-year goes for like $4,000 in secondary.
I think on the strip they're doing it for the tourists who are here, and like what you're saying. And if you wanted tables or something, you want to splurge.
I think that's what they are banking on.
I think it's predatory. I think it's
no, you're right. No, it's super. It's predatory. I mean, what isn't though?
Look,
you're
I'm falling
hold on,
prey. I'm
you're
even
in
ready
Sin
to be
City,
like,
right?
$400. I'm already falling
You're in
prey.
Sin City. It's Vegas. It's all about getting. It's a tourist trap, and it's a trap because all of these places' goal is to take your money. And you're on vacation. You're having a good time with the bros.
Yeah.
Or you want to impress the wives.
Or the
you want to
hoes.
impress the girlfriends. Yeah, the hoes. And you're going to pay that price to impress them. Simple as that.
You're here with the bros or the hoes.
And you're going to
And you're here to impose. So let's go.
Who's buying more whiskey?
Would you rather go there and do that for the bourbon, or go to like a club and get like a $600 bottle of Tito's?
I'd $600 bottle of Tito's.
Cringy.
Plus, you're going to have to pay for the service. So now you're going to get a bottle of Tito's. It's going to be
That'll be a better
$1,000.
experience, though. You're paying what, 20% more to have an experience that's probably 10 times better.
What?
I think a night at the club or a table that I could say 2 hours, maybe an hour, 2 hours for $1,000.
I mean, I think if you go to Cathedral, right, and you spend $500 plus tax,
But that's not a vibe. That's not a place I'm going to hang out at. Right?
I bet you could probably get comp entry
Hey
into the club.
bros, what if I was like, hey bros, let's go to Cathedral tonight.
Catheters? We're gonna go to the
catheters
catheter.
tonight.
The catheter hall?
We're gonna catheter into those bottles.
Oh, hey.
Wet bandits.
Hey,
It's a bad inside joke.
if you
Look
know,
them
you
up.
know.
If you don't know, look
If you
them up
know,
on
you know.
Instagram. Anyway,
The course.
Again, if you know, you know. And if you don't, you should go look it up and know,
Dude.
because that's pretty good. LDP, baby.
not LTP either. Or what is it? Scenic P as well as LTP. It's like the guy on the side of the mountain. Anyway.
No, that's called scenic ball shots.
Okay. All
That's
right.
good too.
And then they have one where it's just like scenic dog.
Hold on. Do you know what scenic ball shots is, Drew? Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, we have to talk about this. Okay. So I just learned about this. And so I've been randomly sending it to people. Basically, it's a guy who takes these landscape photos that are very beautiful, except for he's dangling his balls just in frame. It's just like the tip of his nutsack is like hanging in frame. And you're like, wait, what is that?
The guy's doing that?
Yes.
He like angles it so that it's this beautiful landscape photo of like a sunset or a sunrise or like a cow on the mountain, and you're like, oh wow, that's beautiful. What the is that? And it's totally his scrotum.
All right.
Just hanging and screaming.
In the same category, not of sex, but of scenery. Another photographer pans. It's this beautiful mountain scene, and he turns the camera.
Shut up.
And there's a dog squatting. Taking it down.
Oh.
And it's just like scenic dog poop or something. It's on Instagram. And every one of his pictures of these beautiful scenes that he pans from different angles. And then it always ends with like the dog shitting in like the middle of the field.
This is how I feel.
It's like, what is this?
I'm glad we're talking
and
about
he's
this.
like thousands. He's like 20, 30, 40,000 likes.
Because this is exactly how I feel about
how much
a
money he's making.
half-ounce pour of each of these magical Van Winkles for $500.
Hey, when you're making that Instagram money, you can afford the $500 Van Winkle.
Yeah, but that's it's the thing. It's beautiful. Oh my God, this is so good. Oh my God, what is that? $500 for a half-ounce pour. That's ridiculous. Okay, we got to move on. We should move on. We have a lot to cover today.
I like that I come on and you guys talk about like balls hanging in photos.
I know that's
Like
very,
I watch a lot of shows. You're
It's like, hey, you guys
drinking
do
like
a whiskey.
Oh,
right
guys,
now?
what are we drinking tonight?
I feel like we're like
balls.
balls.
it's like dogs taking dump.
Yeah, dogs shitting.
All right, let's move on to something happier.
What do we got?
I got to talk about something way more exciting. How do you guys? First of all, we talk a lot and so much about it on this show that even AI. So I think I said maybe a month ago, Drew. I don't know if you caught it, but we have talked about this so much that AI. Somebody started an AI whiskey review page that has scraped our show and quoted us about talking about Wild Turkey 101 as one of the greatest value whiskeys and one of the greatest overlooked whiskeys of all time. I'm flattered. I'm flattered.
Because we may not be that popular, but we have a lot of content.
This is true. This is true. So I want to talk about this release that has just come out.
Okay.
Wild Turkey 101 8-year-old bourbon is back. It's back. It was
back,
around,
baby.
and it went away because 101 has such a bad
I don't remember when I first
reputation.
had it.
But this is Wild Turkey
Wait,
101.
don't we have it?
Well, we have 101. I think we might
No,
have
we
one,
have it. It's the 70th. It's right here.
right? But this is the
Look where I'm
8-year.
pointing next to the barrel. It's that right there. Do you see where I'm pointing behind?
That's not the 8-year.
It's the Jimmy Russell 70th 8-year.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
That's the same thing.
I do.
Yeah. Have you had this, Drew? You may need to have it.
Yeah, this was from you got this from Costco. I think.
Yeah, this was a Costco special. We all
This
have
is
it.
this is the 70th Jimmy Russell anniversary release,
I would
aged
love
8 years,
some of that.
and it has gotten such good. We had talked about it, I think, on the show that it had gotten such a good vibe and such a good release that we were thinking, oh, they're probably going to just continue it, and they have. It's going to be the Wild Turkey 101 8-year, and it's slated for a continuing release. So you're in the United States. This is a really big deal. We're very, very excited. I'm very excited.
I just went from the Penelope to the Wild Turkey 8-year, and I'm disgusted by this Penelope.
It's just
Oh, that's for you. Yeah.
It's like I'm disgusted by this.
So we're real excited about this. At least I'm real excited about this. So they're saying this is the first time that they've done this in decades. It's the first time that they have done the 8-year at 101 8-year officially since 1992.
Wow.
So this is a really big deal. Most bottles, they've been doing it, but most bottles were going east.
Drew, the
Going
chat
west.
is asking what your thoughts are on the matter, on the 8-year.
Oh.
I
do you
think. Well, so I just tried the Penelope and the Wild Turkey,
Okay.
and the Penelope, I have to admit, is way better.
Oh, the Penelope is way better?
I thought so, but the price difference is a lot different too.
That's a good point.
I love 101 though, so I could drink Wild Turkey all day. Would you get it for $30?
$30.
Here's the thing.
At Costco, yeah.
In my opinion, the Penelope is a little hot. The Wild Turkey is a lot more smoother. It is not as hot. I know it's so smooth, the mouthfeel, whatever.
55% for the Penelope.
That's the thing, right? And what are we looking at? 45, 47 for the wild turkey?
50 and a half.
50. Okay.
So 5% less.
So that's going to be significant right there, right? So I don't know that you can compare them too much. Plus, obviously, the toasted barrel treatment for the marshmallow toast.
Well, it's like double the price, too.
And it's double, it's double the price. It's triple the price. So I think that those 8 years we're coming in.
Well, this is a 4-year-old.
A 4-year versus an 8-year.
And this is an 8-year.
Wow, that's miles different. So yeah, and not really something you put in the same category. You obviously get a lot more complexity with the wild turkey.
Do you have a regular 101?
Yeah.
We've tried the 101 versus.
Oh, hi. Hey, Bourbon Dog.
Yeah, because 101 is great just by itself.
Agreed. Again, I talk about it a lot. So we've had the 8-year. They've been producing it. It's just been going to like Australia and Japan.
Yeah.
So having it here in the States is a big deal.
Why is that? Why? Do you know why? I think I know why.
Well, there's some interesting things that go over to Australia and Japan. I'm going to Japan later this year, and I'm looking forward to picking up some really interesting things that are available only in Japan. I'm thinking of
3 Penis whiskey, 3 Penis wine.
Oh, I could pick up a bottle of that.
You should.
I should. It's good for virility. Now, I was thinking of the Blantons with the green and red labels. So I'm pretty excited about that. But they're saying that the Jimmy Russell 8-year 70th anniversary was proving to the powers that be that there was a space for something like this, says master blender Bruce Russell. And of course, Bruce is the 3rd generation of the Russell family to work at Wild Turkey, following the footsteps of his grandfather, Jimmy, and of course his father, Eddie. So this bottle right here, and its massive success, paved the way to bring back the 8-year 101. So we're real excited about this. We're obviously going to bring this on the show. We'll probably do a head-to-head between the 70th anniversary and the regular 8-year. So I'm very excited about this. Love 101. Can't wait. I'm glad to hear you say you love 101 too. It's one of my faves.
What is 101 8 years also?
No.
What is
101? 101 has no age statement, although I think they say typically it's like 6. I think it's 6 years. Hold on, let me check my notes. Check
your notes, good sir, and let's move along here. Anyways, the wild turkeys. It's definitely in a category of its own versus Penelope. But the Penelope, in my opinion, does have some pretty good toasty notes. Here's my problem.
I do like the
so
vanilla
off-put
on
by the Elijah Craig toasted and how that has really scarred me from a whiskey connoisseur perspective that I just loathe and despise it on such a down to my bones level that really makes me not enjoy subconsciously any toasted barrel product. So I think that is influencing my.
But you like the Penelope toasted?
Yeah, I like this one because it's sweeter than the others, but it's a little more boozier than I was expecting. Hey, Dylan was asking 101 versus Rare Breed.
Ooh.
That's a tough call, right? Because they're very different too.
Yeah, because Rare Breed is a barrel.
Yeah, barrel proof. So you're looking at obviously the 101 versus we should have something right behind.
Yeah, 101 is 50 and a half, obviously, just over a bottle in bond. You got the Rare Breed, which is the barrel proof. Oh man.
That's a tough call. And here's the thing.
Mood. I'm just gonna say
it's
mood.
It's kind of mood based because you got like 101 is a good just like after work, pop a quick
every day,
whiskey, everyday drinker. Where I think the Rare Breed is like your Friday night, Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a little more like Rare Breed is. I feel like here's how I'm gonna say it. 101 is come home, wife beater only.
Yes.
Rare Breed is collared shirt going to dinner.
I like that analogy, and also even like after dinner cocktail. If I'm at a bar and they have both, I want to appear a little classy. Get the Rare Breed.
Also, 101.
Plus, it's cheaper to get the party started and get you know.
You ever gonna be mad if they mix 101? Like if they made you a mixed cocktail?
I'd be fine with that. I would not be fine if they did that with Rare Breed.
If they made a mixed cocktail with Rare Breed, I might murder somebody.
Negatory.
You wouldn't want that?
Absolutely not. It's so good on its own. Why would you ever mix it with something?
when I get a rare breed rye, that's what I make old fashions with.
Oh.
I
But
like
I mean,
that.
that's it.
But again,
that's
rare breed rye is
another
just so
restaurant.
good. It's
That would be-
all on its own. It's so good.
That would be one of my exceptions. Would be an old fashioned.
No.
We got to follow up. 101 is their standard rare breed, the splurge. I would agree.
Fair.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're kind of along the same
Yeah.
lines.
It's double the
right?
price.
It's the nicer way of saying it.
It is double the price, and that's what you got to think about too. Like,
Rare breed's so good.
It's also double the fun.
yeah, but it's
I think rare
probably-
breed's way better than 101.
I kind of agree.
But
It is
double the
also,
price.
I think, both bottles is unquestionably two of the best values of bourbon
Oh.
right now.
I won't argue. I won't argue.
And respectable. If you had both bottles in your bar, I came over to your house and they were there on your bar, and that's what you were pouring. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'd say respect. I like it. Yep.
if I
you do
come
your stuff.
over and you're pouring,
Black Velvet and Wild Grouse, we're gonna have words.
wait for it. If you're pouring,
You're really searching for this one.
I really what's something I really despise.
I mean, you shouldn't have it on your bar.
Rare character.
What
you were looking for?
He doesn't have any.
Because I don't have any because I hate it
It's a
so
lie.
much.
That's a lie.
Sorry, I
you have
don't
one
hate
bottle.
it.
You have one bottle of rare character back there.
Taco Bell dog, Old Granddad 114. We love Old Grand. OG.
Oh, yes!
A fan favorite.
Literally one of my favorite bourbons. Thank you.
Another one of the best values in whiskey.
Oh,
OGD.
I don't-
Especially the 114.
I do not pass it up when I see it in the liquor store because there was a dry spell where they weren't distributing it, weren't making it, and then all of a sudden it came back with a vengeance. Best bottle at $30. Come on.
I put that in the same category as Evan Williams. Black Label. 1783.
I think it's better value.
I think it's a better value. It's a better bourbon and better value.
I would argue that.
I'd put Evan Williams Black Label in the same category as I would Wild Turkey 101. I think that they are.
Oh.
I think that those two bourbons.
I think
very
the Evan Williams
familiar.
white label would be in that category, not the black.
See, and I don't like the white label as much.
I don't like it either. But I think it's a lower tier. I think that's the entry level tier is the white label Evan Williams. Black label's elevated.
It's not supposed to be though, because white label is supposed to be 50%, right?
It is 100 proof.
Yeah.
Bottled and bond. You're right.
The white label is a bottled and bond, and I don't like it. But I don't like most bottled and bonds. So.
Yeah, same. I'm not a bottled and bond guy.
Bottled and bond?
Drew, bottled and bond.
I've had a few good ones.
But they're hard to come by, right?
I used to
Any
love
standouts?
McKenna.
Which one?
McKenna 10.
Used to be good.
When it was
yeah.
cheap. That was the best bottle of bond you could get.
Used to be good.
Now it's
Agreed.
overpriced.
They're terrible.
Overpriced and very inconsistent.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. I don't mean to say terrible.
That was like one of
They're-
the really the best ones you could get for like it was $29 or something.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And I would
That's
put it
69.
as a
69?
too.
Yeah, and I would put that in a category of like Blanton's-esque. Blanton
Yeah, sure.
category for
Yeah.
a better value.
Yeah, sure.
Half the price of like a Blanton's.
That's good.
But then that changed when they won that World Whiskey Award.
Can we talk about another 10-year? I'm glad you
Oh.
brought up 10-year.
Yeah.
I think you can lead us into the next story. There's another 10-year that is making a comeback, first time in a year. Talk to us.
Yeah. So
It's a big deal.
Here we go. So rolling out since the last time this came out was in March of 2024. The latest batch of Michter's 10.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
So good.
Coming in at 94.4 proof. We are looking to get a release this year. So up until 2015, if you don't know a little bit about the backstory of that, they were sourcing older stock on contract.
With who?
And
Do we know with who?
I really don't know off the top of my head. But they no longer do that. And so what they've done on this year's 10-year, they're claiming that a lot of the barrels are overaged beyond 10 years.
Oh,
So they're not going to say what, but my guess is that you're going to see a run where they release them like sometimes multiple times throughout the year. I would try to get my hands on this, which means that I bet this first batch is, like they say, is going to be older than 10 years. You're probably looking at something that's going to taste closer to Celebration than
oh.
a 20-year. You need to go out and find this bottle, friends.
What's the price point on this? $149.
Yeah, it's usually like $129 or burger. Let me look here. It's $195.
$200.
So,
Still worth it.
Yeah.
Michter's 10 is a solid. That's a solid pickup. I've never heard it called.
It's one of my favorites. It's
very good.
I mean, I have. If you look between BJ and Drew there in the cabinet and the glass,
You got some. Drew, Michter's 10. What are you thinking?
Well, first off, where do you find them locally, or do you have to buy them online?
So you'll see more of it available this year, and that's a really good question. We're really going to have to scour. Like I recommend to everybody on the show, get in like your local cities like Facebook group, and you'll get a lot of like boomers in there that like are all retired, and all they do is they're like degenerate drunks and just like follow whiskey stores all day long.
I'm sorry. I think what you meant to say was
they're amazing
avid
people,
collectors,
and they're advocates in the community.
Avid collectors.
They're community contributors.
Yes.
And they thrive on socializing the word of whiskey
with their available time.
Yes, with their precious few minutes left of their lives.
Wow.
So
Jesus.
Took a dark turn.
Wow. In whiskey's waiting room, everybody.
You know,
wow.
Here's the thing. The whiskey industry as a whole, especially the whiskey fan club, the whiskey fanboys, fan people, they're extremes. They're either
correct,
some of the best, most genuine, amazing people of any hobby, and they will share whatever they have, and they will be selfless and embracing you, and hey, come on over, let me teach you about it, et cetera, et cetera. Then you have this whole other like counterculture, the dark side, as you're going dark. Like you literally have the light and dark. This is like Jedi forces here.
Oh.
And then the dark side.
Oh.
You get so dark in this community.
Turn to the dark,
the denizens, to the degenerates, to the lowest of the low, to the unwashed of this community, where it gets so bad, and you really have to like drill down into like, this is below Facebook groups. So once you start getting into like Discord groups, and then like private Telegram groups of like people razzling for like Wagyu steaks.
Hey,
and
whoa, careful.
And
careful.
Razzling their chase points for like cash and whiskey bottles. Like that's the lowest form of degenerate gambling in this dark community.
Why do you know about this?
I know.
Wait, why do you know about this, James?
People are just savvy to the industry.
Oh, is that what it is?
Airline miles?
Yeah, it's like raffling out. It's like selling your airline miles on eBay.
Do you know about that? Why do you know about this?
I know where to find a good deal.
He's flown to Asia a few times.
I have literally been boots on the ground.
And on that note.
Anyway, let me bring it back full circle. So you have your awful people in the bourbon industry and the community, and then you have your amazing people in the bourbon community. So to bring it back full circle and to answer your question, follow some Facebook groups if you want to try to get this bottle this year. Make a relation with your local shop owner. Like go to that liquor store, talk to the guy that like rings you up and be like, hey, here you the owner. Hey, I live right down the street. I come through all the time. If they end up perceiving you and you become known as like a regular, right? One day you can be like, hey man, if you get a lead on Michter's 10, let me know. I'm always in here. They're definitely 99% of the time going to take care of you first over some rando that is just going to buy it and flip it. And I've even seen some shops now where you have to buy it and crack it open in front of them so you promise not to sell that secondary. I'm an advocate of that. I'm okay with that.
I would do that every single time.
Thank you. I do the same thing. I wish that was more prevalent. And I think that would help the availability. Because you have all these dickheads. You have all these people that go out there and they wait overnight and they have no jobs because their job is flipping bottles.
We kind of were talking about this earlier.
They go wait in some line at some liquor store like 48 hours before with a tent and a camping chair, eating the instant ramen for 2 days.
You mean corn nuts? I survived in this spot for 5 days on corn nuts.
And they buy these bottles all up and flip them. You'll see them on Facebook. I can't tell you the countless amount of people I know. I won't name names in Vegas. They're in one whiskey group.
One whiskey group.
Listen to him. Do not name them. Like first person in line. And then the next 2 hours later, I see a post in one of the big national groups of them selling the bottles in a big national duck race group, razzle group.
Oh, hey guys, check out what I just got. Up to the
So-
highest bidder.
Just be careful.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
All right.
Cheers, Mr. Joe.
All right.
Welcome to the show. Good to have you all joining us. Let us know in the chat what you're drinking tonight. If you're having a beverage or a fresh cracky, as we like to call them.
Ooh.
Let's
This
know
is
what you're drinking.
this
So
is
what's our
interesting.
next news story? So
Okay,
anyway,
the next one.
there you go, Drew. That's how you get your Maker's 10. Go make relations.
I'll wait in line.
Go to the dark web and
Can't
And
Trade
then
some
if you
chase
can't,
points.
and you're desperate, come see me when you want to go on the dark web.
hey, basically save up all your Kohl's cash, and then you go trade it in for a couple
For
of
duck race entries.
Yeah.
That whole duck race with your Kohl's
I
cash.
got $500 in Kohl's
We
cash.
do-
It expires next week, but I got 2 entries to the duck race.
10-1 Kohl's cash for 2 entries into the duck race.
Oh my
It's
god.
a 25 spot duck race.
Oh god.
And we race at noon, or it's an FB3 Fireball, Illinois FB3. We run it at 7 and 10.
The fact that you know this is so sad.
And we also have a midday for the true degenerates
Oh,
early in
yeah.
the morning. I think that runs at noon or 1 or something.
Second place is 5 pounds of Wagyu.
And then second place, they're Wagyu filet mignons.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Thank God you got
That'd be a
second
good
place.
win, actually.
Thank God I won second place.
Thank God he won second
Both
place.
these two have benefited from
I
my
sure have.
Wagyu filet mignon.
All right, this was an interesting one that popped up this week, and I freaked out when I saw it because I was like, "Oh no, what?" It said popular whiskey brand files for Chapter 11, and then I opened
What
it,
is that
and I was
about?
like, "Popular whiskey brand? What popular whiskey brand is filing for Chapter 11?" And then it said Stolichnaya vodka, and I was like,
Wait, what?
"What?
What? Stolies?
Stoli? Why is Stoli a popular whiskey brand?"
And why are they going bankrupt?
Stoli is filing for Chapter 11, which is just restructuring.
Oh, I mean, it's not a good sign, though, right?
It's not a great sign. They are restructuring. But here's the thing. Stoli, kind of like Brown Forman or any of the other larger conglomerates,
Yep.
they do have a lot of things underneath their brow. One of those is a whiskey brand we all know,
Oh.
kind of love, Kentucky Owl.
Oh, you know.
Do you really love this?
I would
No.
love is a strong word.
I don't think I've
that's-
ever had
love is a
Kentucky
strong
Owl.
word.
Love is a strong Remember when Kentucky Owl released
Do-
that St. Patrick's Day pick, and it was in Costco for like a year and a half
Oh,
before
yeah,
they had to
blew them out at
like blur
30
them out.
level. They
yeah,
green
$30
bottle.
a bottle. They were like, I think they started at like 112, and then they got blown out for $30 a bottle.
Yeah.
That's why they're going bankrupt, kids, because nobody wants their
I've
product.
never had a Kentucky Owl.
It's
It's-
expensive.
It's very mean bottle.
It's
Taco dog.
expensive.
Uh,
It is mean bottle. That's
it's a mean
good
bottle.
call.
Like, it does get a lot of grief, and I think it's one of those. It's like, to me, this is just my personal correlation. It's like whoever buys like a Heaven's Door bottle is buying Kentucky Owl. This is like the boomer collector's house you go to that it's like his first month being a whiskey collector, and he has nothing but like orphan barrels and all the Heaven's Doors,
Ugh.
and then you'll have all the Kentucky Owls,
Ugh.
and then all the not the King of Kentuckies, but they're all the Cream of
Cream of
Kentuckies because they think
Kentuckies.
they get those confused in their head, like they're the more expensive
Oh, the
ones.
cream of Kentucky.
And these are liquor store owners' best customers. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I got a really good bottle for you. It's gonna
Like-
look really good up there on your top shelf. Very collectible. No, basically,
And if you watch the show, then you would learn that you should not be doing that, and you would learn by the show what bottles to be buying.
so
So there you go for future reference. Start going through all the old shows.
so Stoli, which has
What is Stoli?
they have Kentucky Owl in their portfolio.
Yes.
Basically, they defaulted on a $78 million secured debt that they owed.
Wow,
so
that's
they're
a lot of
little
money.
they're a little overextended.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
And so that was back in November. They're really just making it public now. It's really coming out. So yeah, they're restructuring. So hey, if you're looking for those Kentucky Owl bottles, now might be a really good time to pick some up. You never know. You might get one on super clearance.
Super clearance, you say?
Just like they blew them out in Costco. And then immediately following was a story coming out of the Herald Leader in Lexington, Kentucky. A large new Kentucky distillery closes amid a $2.2 million lawsuit and liens because they haven't paid $250,000 in property taxes. But this is significant. It is significant. So basically, during COVID times, a brand new Kentucky distillery was built. 2 big pot stills. It's a very beautiful facility. It's very future forward, very pretty. Okay. But it's a company that I'd never seen or heard of before, called Garrard County Distilling Company.
How do you spell that? Garrard.
Garrard.
Garrard. I've never heard of him.
I call it Garrard. Maybe it is Garrard.
Garrard.
Ooh.
Garrard. It's like garage and garage.
Right? Garrard. So anyways, they
it's like it's Gerard. Oh, you asses.
Excuse me.
It's
a French pronunciation. So they opened their doors. So they built during COVID. They opened their doors January of 2024. Okay. They immediately got sued in October for $2.2 million by the general contractor that built the distillery for unpaid debts. Yikes. They didn't want to pay because one of their rick houses, the roof apparently fell in on one of the rick houses. Yeah. So they placed this $2.2 million lien against them. And then there's an additional lien that's been reported, but that's not been disclosed about how much. The phone for the distillery has been disconnected, and their parent company is out of Atlanta called Staghorn Distilling. Now, I've never heard of Staghorn Distilling either.
Staghorn.
Ring
a bell, man.
Our Staghorn. Like our Staghorn and Finkel.
Our roots go pretty deep with knowing these obscure names, and I've never heard of that.
So yeah, $250,000 in unpaid property taxes. Basically, this beautiful facility, it just can't get up off the ground.
Oh, sucks for them.
Well,
what's the point of this story?
I'm just reporting. I'm just telling you what it is.
And this is like a hot off the press.
Wow. This was hot off the press as of
this morning. To the Garrard Brewery or. Jesus, to the distillery. We hope you guys make it, I guess.
You're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. A $2.2 million lien, you're not going to make it.
What if they get an angel investor that's like, I want 75% of your business?
It's called, I think Buffalo Trace is going to swoop in and buy up this beautiful new estate. All right.
Reported for copyright infringement.
And then I had to end it. We got one final discussion point tonight. I have to end it with this. This is coming out of one of our favorite creative places, chowhound.com.
Oh, from the authority of alcohol articles.
This one's a little late. This came out on March 23rd.
This article?
We have read her articles before. This is Emily Alexander.
Emily, how's it going, Emily? What do you got to say?
She wrote a guide to buying bourbon called 10 Rules to Follow When Buying Bourbon.
Emily, why? Were you like due for a deadline and you just something out of thin air?
I haven't read this. And so she says, if you've ever wondered how to select the right bourbon for your taste without going through a long trial, then you should read this. You're in luck because she checked with a whiskey connoisseur and expert from the Cask Connoisseur, Chris Walster, who said, these are some general rules that you can follow.
All right, what do we got?
Rule number 1. Let's see if we follow any of these rules, gentlemen.
All right, what was
rule number 1 is always read the label.
And does it have like a little synopsis?
It does. It says it's obvious, but reading the label is the best place to start when considering your next bourbon purchase. Take time to read this label. You need to understand the common bourbon terminology and what it denotes, but often the easiest place to start is with a quick look at what the bottle tells you.
Hold on. But they said the right answer. The right answer is not that. The right answer is what they just said right there.
Which was?
Know the bourbon terminology.
I think that's step number 1.
Step number 1.
I agree.
No, so you want to know a couple of things, and let's go through it. And I think I want us to contribute, right? Because I think knowing bourbon terminology, you got to think of a lot of stuff, right? So think about the whole process of making bourbon. So you need to think about the mash, the fermentation, and then the distillation, You just need to go through these processes, and you can go through in the past of our shows and go through all this in detail. But you need to understand these processes to where when you do read the label, because typically a lot of labels are deceiving and they just tell you a quick little stupid story about, I was late. Our company has roots from the deep south of when old Rip Van Winkle himself
fell asleep under the
oak tree. And a bourbon bottle fell on his head.
How about this one? How about this one? We relate this one a lot.
A tornado tore down the distillery.
I started making bourbon when my old hound tick fell out of the back of my pickup truck. That's when I knew that the dog water in his bowl.
Oh, that's your favorite brand.
And I had to.
Thomas Anderson. Hello, good sir.
I had to make myself
show.
my lone whisker.
Lone whisker.
Okay, so he kind of says this. So our whiskey expert here, our whiskey expert says you do need to know some terminology, but I don't know that I agree with him on the terminology you should be looking for. He says the first term to know is straight bourbon, and then you should know bottled in bond. And then he goes on to be quoted as stating, generally speaking, the older the bourbon, the more smooth and complex the palate is. Who is this person?
Friends, we've told you that there is a sweet spot. Do not. Bourbon is not scotch.
Hey, the older it is, the better it is, according to Chris Walter.
Shit. So here's the thing.
Drew, do you agree?
No, I can give you 5 bourbons that are the best you can ever buy. For
Shoot your shot. You're live on the internet. What are your 5? Give us your 5.
Okay.
Right.
Here we go.
Buffalo Trace.
Yep, I would agree 100%.
Eagle Rare.
Ooh.
Hold on, Igor. Yep, I would agree.
Regular Eagle Rare. So we're talking. So first of all, the price point on the first bottle, $29.99.
Well,
price point on the second bottle, $40.
Not anymore, but go on.
Rare Reed Rye.
Yep.
Price point on that bottle, $60.
Rare
60.
Reed Bourbon.
Which one?
60.
Rare Reed Bourbon.
Price point on that bottle, $60.
And then there's 2 more.
Come
Jack
on.
Daniels Barrel Proof
Ooh.
and Jack Daniels Barrel Proof Rye. That's
2
all
more
you need.
$60 bottles.
Can I add one more?
Do it.
No, don't add one.
E.H. Taylor single barrel.
Yeah, but you can't find that.
$65.
Those
You
are
can
hard
find
to
it.
When you can't find it, let's put an asterisk.
And that's a
bottom
bottle
of the list.
And that's a bottled in bond.
I would
We
buy
actually
those
do
all
like
day if I could find it.
I know.
Agreed.
Same. I love them. Some of them are so good. They do
solid
very
mix.
wildly. They do.
Boom.
They very wildly. Dyslexia there. With the whole store picks. Sometimes they pick bad barrels, et cetera. Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes they're fantastic.
They're mostly great.
They are mostly great. I would agree with you.
Are you ready for number 2? What's the number 2 rule when buying bourbon?
I know,
Out of 10?
Thomas. It's ridiculous. YouTube is always late or not at all with our notifications.
I'm sorry.
We will try. What I want to try to do, I know a lot of you get the posts as long as you're subscribing and clicking the stupid bell to our posts. When I post something in like the Barrel Buddies YouTube channel on the post chat, there's like a channel chat, it sends it to all of you guys. Like, oh, hey, Barrel Buddies, we're not having a show tonight, like whenever we got BS going on or whatever. So maybe I start posting on that regularly the day of the show.
On the reg.
And it's like a T-minus countdown where I'm like, hey, we're going live in 30 minutes. And then I'm sure by the time you get it, 30 minutes-ish, maybe you'll be just in time for the show. So we'll start doing that.
You ready for number 2?
What do you got?
Hey, Drew. How many times do you always look at the mash bill?
I never do unless it's a bourbon or a rye.
I actually never do either.
Yeah, I don't care.
Chris Walter says, always look at the mash bill.
Like, where do you
It's
see
a
that?
broad overview of the specific recipe.
If it's not on the bottle, I don't ever see it.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Chris
I don't-
Walter.
Yeah, and 99% of the time, these distilleries are deceiving you. And it's a sourced something. It's a sourced whiskey that they never made themselves anyway.
And I'm sorry, how, unless you are,
So you're not going to know the mash bill or even where it came from.
all I
It's just
care
some
about,
douche canoes barreling it in some random county in Washington.
is it high rye? Is it high corn? Does it have wheat in it? Like, usually I'm like, oh, is it a wheat-based bourbon? Okay, it's got a lot of
Yeah.
wheat in it. Oh, is it a high corn?
Yeah, is it a
oh, okay,
wheater?
it's
Is
gonna
it a
be
high
sweet.
corn? Is it a high rye?
Like, I never care.
No, it's
Okay,
meaningless.
number 3.
But where do you look that? Where do you see that? Where do you look that up?
I mean, we usually have to look it up online.
Oh, so yeah.
So
we
when
go
you're
online,
standing
like
when you're
Reddit.
standing in the liquor store, you're not even able to look. You're gonna stand there with your phone. Oh, wait, can I help you, sir? Oh no, I'm good.
The mash bill.
I'm just looking up the mash bill on this particular Jefferson's Ocean Age to find
Of course, you bring up Jefferson.
to find out if I like this particular
I want
recipe.
to see how many months the cask was at sea on the shipping container.
Speaking of, rule number 3: know about the innovative cask finish you're looking for.
Well, they're obviously pro cask finish because they called it innovative. So please go on here on the article.
I don't know that I want to. I'm very concerned.
Here's the thing. There's so many, like, the holy grail.
Well, here's what she
Hold
says.
on. The holy grail of whiskey distilling, if you could figure out this formula, is how to age something by not aging things. Does that make sense? Like, if you can fake age something somehow and make it taste the same. If you can make a 10-year whiskey somehow with introducing it into some type of cask or barrel staves or zero gravity system, whatever bullshit they do nowadays, you would be probably one of the richest people.
You want it in Amber Honor, don't you?
Always. The amber.
Right. Amber.
You want the ambu finish.
Ambu
That
finish.
ages it. You love that.
Yeah.
Gives it a nice smooth finish with some
Guys, stay
cinnamon.
away from anything that's amberana.
All right. I actually like this next rule.
What do you got?
Know the 6 different styles of bourbon. I actually think this should be higher up in the
What are the
list.
6 different styles of bourbon?
He says bourbon is produced in 6 different styles: single barrel, cask strength, weeded, high rye, high corn, and small batch. According to him.
That's a good rule.
I actually think it's a good rule, right? That's more important than know the mash bill.
Yeah, know the mash bill is not even, like, beginners aren't going to know that.
He says knowing this can help you determine what you're paying for, either in uniqueness, flavor, or potential quality. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's good. Keep in mind, this is also another good one,
What's that?
and I agree with this one a lot. Next rule: keep in mind that bottled and bond labels. Oh no, I disagree with this rule. Never mind. I disagree with this rule. I hate this rule. Bottled and bond labels are an indication of better quality.
Come on, there's so many awful dog shit bottled and bond. There's countless. And we already said it before we even looked at this article. We even said it being a show. We're not bottle and bond fans. And you guys all got that.
Just because it's certified under the site of the federal government does not mean it's better quality. There's so many terrible bottled and bond bottles.
So many bad. Mr. Jimmy, tap that barrel tonight. Wow. There you go. Or BJ.
I tapped it for you.
We're not ready for that. We're going to let it go, and it's
Oh.
getting darker, as you can see.
How much longer are you going to sit on that thing for?
So, Preston was really an advocate and he's kind of like the Las Vegas local, he's one of the experts in Vegas, I think, about secondary aging. And he said the longer the better. So at first I was a little antsy and I'm like, let's get this swapped out, get the whiskey in it. But every week I notice it getting darker and darker and darker. If you look around those rings on the barrel, it is
starting to really seep out the back.
Yeah, and it's really just turning into a mess. Which at the end of the day, if I lose the meat, that's okay. The goal is just to saturate this barrel with as much meat as possible, to where when that barrel proof whiskey goes in it and sits in there for like 6 months, the end product is just this juicy, citrusy, because and Frey Ranch citrus apple, like that citrusy or that green apple flavor that comes from that, and then all of that berry just melding together. I can't wait for that. So,
all right. So bottle and bond.
Yes,
bottle and bond. Better quality, right? Better quality.
No, false.
So much better quality.
False. Move on.
How about this one?
What do you got?
Consider the occasion. We all know that some occasions call for splurging, while others are more casual and laid back. According to Walster, if the bottle you're buying is for a cocktail party, it can be fairly cheap and cheerful, but you might want to spend a lot more if it's for a special event, such as reaching a specific age or achievement. I think we've already covered this in our previous rant, that you don't need to spend a lot of money for a really nice bottle.
You don't. If I had a birthday party at my house and one of you guys came through with like a rare breed rye as a gift, I would be elated.
Speaking of
$60 bottle, friends.
he rolls into this saying spending between $50 and $100 per bottle typically gives you the most bang for your buck. Again, I would argue that.
I'd argue that too.
I think that there are plenty of $30 bottles.
And I'll take an Evan Williams Black Label. If you're down and out and you're just like, I'm gonna go give Jimmy a gift, whatever. An Evan Williams Black
You're like,
Label,
well, thanks.
I take it.
$30 bottle. Name me your $30 bottle right now.
That's
That's
you can
good.
find anywhere.
Yeah,
No. I'll just say no in general. It doesn't need to be found anywhere.
sure.
If you think that changes the answer, I don't think it probably will.
I don't know that. I honestly, I don't search for a $30 bottle. I would search for Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof, which is $60.
Sure. Okay.
But it was like $50 a couple months ago. They were
30
$49.
Elijah Craig. I buy a bottle of
I would
regular
take
Elijah
off
Craig.
with Trace a lot of the times.
Sure.
Agreed.
Oh, I got one. Four Roses, small batch select.
I've
Small
never had
batch
it.
select is okay. It's not great.
It's $30. Great. I'd be
I
thrilled.
don't want that as a gift ever.
Oh, you're talking about gifts. Oh,
Yeah, like taking.
No,
it
I
as a
mean,
gift
just
or
general.
something.
He says, spend between $50 and $100 per bottle. It gives you the most bang for your buck.
oh, that's too much. Yeah, you can get cheaper for sure.
You get better. I just disagree that you have to your beginning price point. No, we said it already. Old Granddad 114.
$27 is great.
Are you kidding? It's one of the greatest bourbons, and it's well below $50.
Can I call something out real quick?
It's great.
BJ, you look so angelic because you're right in the middle of the Barrel Buddies sign. Like, look on the video feed. Well, you're not centered now, but you were centered a second ago. You were like,
All right. How about this one? You guys really want
hold
to
on,
get rid of it?
Mr. Jimmy. How many weeks has that been in the barrel?
How many?
Since March,
Well, earlier than March. You put it in way earlier
beginning
than
of March. So
No,
we're almost maybe
no.
8 weeks.
No,
we're in.
Look it
We're
up.
barely in March. That thing's been in there
Well
for
before
like
March.
at least 3 months.
January.
Oh, it was
Yeah, it's been 3
January.
months.
Has it been 3
Yes,
months?
it
Yes,
has.
it has.
12 weeks, you
Are
think?
you high?
No, what? No. How long? 12 weeks?
Easily.
We'll look it up.
Okay.
Hey, you guys want to get railed?
Okay, well, go on.
Because the next one is, don't forget to ask your retailer for advice. It's always a good idea.
Oh, jeez.
All liquor stores are
Friends.
staffed with knowledgeable people who possess a wealth of information.
Wrong. I'm going to call out Total Wine and Spirits Direct because all they're told to do is push Spirits Direct. So you go in there, and the first bottle they're going to recommend you guys is Chestnut Farm.
I was just saying, have you ever had our Chestnut
Calumet.
Farms? It's really good.
Calumet.
If you really like,
Oh, this tastes just like Blanton's.
if you guys like blends, you should really get a Chestnut Farms. If you don't like that,
Bananas.
get a Pinhook.
You know what's next? Stellum. They
Yes.
push Stellum.
Stella.
They're huge. Anything Spirits Direct, they are so crazy about.
I got suckered into the Stellum one.
Hey, your bottle
Never
for
again.
Dory, is that not going to leak or anything?
Oh no, it's airtight, like my butthole.
Oh,
Um,
affectionate. So anyway,
I do like this next rule. Consider trying a bourbon you're not familiar with at a bar before buying an entire bottle.
Not a cathedral.
and
But
You'll be spending $500.
don't spend $500 for a flight of Pappy.
so in the chat, 8 weeks. The conversion on that is like 5 years by now, right? I don't know exactly. I would say, let's say 3 months. So let's say 90 days. I'm pretty sure that equates to like 5 years. That's. I mean, Preston would probably.
oh, it's time to go.
Oh, we have the map. I have the chart. Sorry, I have the chart.
And then I'm really disappointed because in the 10th rule for selecting bourbon, I feel like Emily and Chris really mailed it in.
Okay, go on.
Remember, it all comes down to personal taste in the end.
God, that's the wisest words spoken.
Remember, guys,
So wise.
it's all what you like. It doesn't matter. In the end, the rules don't matter. It's all what you like.
90 days is. Hold on, that's a 3 liter. That's a 3 liter barrel.
Yes.
So 90 days equals 1 year of. What are you doing?
I apologize.
90 days equals 1 year of aging.
90 days equals 1 year.
Yeah.
In that little barrel.
Yes. That is nuts.
We have
So
a
you've been in
problem.
there
So we have a
way-
problem. You've been in there
2
at least a
years.
year.
2 years, 3 years.
Then it needs to sit in there a lot longer.
What do you mean? Well, how many years do you want?
I think 1 year is perfect. So that means we're imminent. We need to probably dump that.
Hold on. I was going to tell you. I was going to pull it up and tell you.
What are you doing?
I'm looking up when we put this in the barrel.
In the barrel. Oh yeah. What show is that? You'll have to date.
It's been at least 2 or 3 months.
I would agree.
We put this in on.
There it
It says
is.
2 months ago.
2 months ago. So
January 22nd. So it's been
January 22nd.
January 22nd, February 22nd,
Yep.
March 22nd. So by April 22nd, it will be equivalent to 1 year.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to go for a full 1 year. So by April 22nd, by the April 22nd deadline, we will put the whiskey in this
Okay.
and dump the mead.
Okay. There you go, Mr. Jim.
Jesse, if you want to do something with the mead, hit me up. Let me
Don't
know.
dump the meat. Dump it.
Dump
It's
it?
in my mouth. No, it said don't
Dump it in your
don't
mouth.
Dump it.
No, I'm not
Dump it right
dumping
in my
it.
mouth.
It's getting bottled. We're going to put it
We're
in
gonna bottle
pop bottles. Yeah.
So there you go. We've caught up on
There you go. We
that
got
was
up
a
on
fun
a ton
discussion.
of news.
That's a fun discussion. Drew, what do you think?
Jackie Black, long time, boys.
Oh,
wow,
hello.
Jackie. We decided to have a little one-off show on Thursday night, so it's great to see some
Thirsty
people that-
Thursday, you
that
know?
don't normally make it. So, should I talk about that Doers story really quick?
Oh, God, if you have to.
All right. Doers and their infinite wisdom. I'm gonna give Doers some credit. When I was a wee lad, many, many years ago in my early 20s, and just opening the door to whiskey, a dear friend of mine said,
Shout
"Hey, try."
Shout out, Mr. Burrows.
Shout out to Mr. Burrows, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend of Mr. Burrows.
Safari Planet.
Safari Planet. Started by us drinking. Oh, and Mr. Zach, who used to be one of the original Barrel Buddies. And Zach, we would polish off a cube of PBR.
A cube.
A cube at the time.
36.
It was a 36 pack of
The
PBR.
36 pack.
So back in the day, we would all work at the same place on swing shift, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., all training each other. And after training, we'd be done. It's 11 p.m. Most places are closed. Even though it's Vegas, we don't want to go spend the money at these bars. So we go back to Ryan's house. He had a porch, like at his house. We call it the Morch. We would sit there. We'd get the cube of PBR. We'd rotate it. Who would buy it over each week? And then a bottle of Cuddy Stark.
Oh.
And it was a handle. The
Cuddy.
three of us would proceed to polish off the handle of Cuddy Sark by 3, 4, 5 a.m. And then polish off the cube of PBR. We would then typically go to Roberto's, for those that know Roberto's 10, 15 years ago,
Fine Mexican establishment.
especially back then, to get an order of super nachos or carne asada fries,
California style.
California style. And we were absolute animals back then. And then at one point in time, we thought that Cuddy Sark was too beneath us, so we upgraded to a handle of Doers. We upgraded. We said, and we thought we were the biggest kings in the world, upgrading to Doers,
White.
which was, I think, at the time maybe $10 or $15 more expensive. But we did it anyways, and we were drinking Doers.
I'll
like
take
it was
Cuddy
going out of
Sark any
style.
day.
And we were on the Morch every Friday night, my friends, for years.
That's
Ryan,
rough.
shout out to Ryan Burrows, Safari Planet. He is.
We should call him.
We will get him.
Call
I was
him.
going to say he is going to be a guest on the show here
Call him.
very soon, one of these days.
Oof.
So there's my Ryan story. Drew, thanks for joining us tonight. I see you got another beer there. BJ, do you have anything else to add before we wrap this up and shut her down?
This was a good time. I hope that we
We're
do this
asking.
more
We're getting
often.
a quick chat question. Roberto's versus Fausto's.
Ooh, who asked that question?
I don't think it's relevant.
It is relevant.
Taco Bell Dog says Roberto's or Fausto's.
Okay, you're right. It's not super relevant. I'm a Fausto's guy.
I'm a
If
Don
given-
for Taco guy.
If given the choice, I will take Fausto's any day.
Don
It's
for
so
Taco.
good.
Don for Taco.
Because Roberto's, listen,
I don't like
Roberto's
Roberto's
is
anymore.
it's too dependent upon the location, right? There are good Roberto's and there are bad Roberto's. Roberto's is like Denny's now.
No,
You're
because
like, you got to go to the good Roberto's.
you know they sold the company. Like this Asian conglomerate bought Roberto's like a year ago.
Well,
Like from like
it's still like
Taiwan
you're
or
like you
something.
can't go to that Roberto's because it's not good. You got to go to the good Roberto's. Where Fosto's, I'm like, I know that I'm going to get good rolled tacos at any Fosto's.
Drew, do you have any insights on popular Mexican joints you go to? Like
No, I like the one in Green Valley Ranch. I know that's
what is it called?
kind of random, horchata, but
Horchata? All
yeah.
right. Baracha.
Oh, Barrage.
Oh yeah, the one that's on the casino floor.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good spot. I like that
That's a
too.
good spot. That's a good spot.
I like tacos and beer on this Paradise.
Yeah,
I love tacos.
they're pretty good.
I can put down some tacos there.
Yeah. And they have a decent happy hour too. You get some really good stuff there.
I don't know if I do.
So let's wrap this up, friends. So
Clink, clink. Oh, that
if
was
you don't expect outdoor taco,
that was
then you're right.
unexpected.
Here's the thing. I have a Don Tour Taco right down the street from me here at the house on Serene. I at first did not like them. However, sometimes on Saturday mornings, like when I want to get up early and kind of like, knock out a list of chores or whatever, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, going to Don Tour Taco and getting that giant like breakfast burrito, like the chorizo breakfast burrito or the machaca breakfast burrito is just, it's heaven. It's heavenly and gets
I
you.
love the machaca.
Yes, and it gets you going all day long. Like
Oh, I do not like that.
Ooh, was it infected? Was it infected? Oh, we're talking about bad beer over here. Anyways, Barrel Buddies, we're gonna wrap this up.
I think it's
It
infected.
was a pleasure. So catch us next
I would drink
Wednesday at our normal time.
I'd be
So
sick.
yesterday. So next Wednesday we're gonna have a show, same time. So join us then. I don't know. I might like the Thursday format. Like, what do you? Is that like?
I will
Should
talk.
we put it for a vote, or we'll talk more? Or
We'll talk about it. We might have to do Thursday next week too,
potentially.
because I think I've got something on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, if not, we'll figure it out and we will let you all know and we'll keep you all informed. So make sure to subscribe, like, click the bell. You guys know the usual spiel on YouTube.
That's right.
I'll do a little posty McPosterson.
We love you. Thanks for jumping in. Sorry, we've been super random. We're super busy right now.
We've been works nuts
Life,
for everybody.
real life is poking
problems.
in. Sorry.
But we're going to be here for you guys when we can. And we'll try to, so like weekly, if we can't do a Wednesday show, we'll just try another random day.
Yep.
And we like when you guys randomly pop in. So we appreciate you all. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the Barrel Buddies. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm BJ. We'll see ya next week.
Bye-bye. Bam. Great.